I don't know if you know this, if we're sort of internet people in here. TPUC is this tiny little website, tiny little thing. It seems to be known by quite a lot of people, but it's a tiny little website. It's just picked up over 17 million hits this month. 17 million hits. We've doubled. And I've got a funny feeling it's going to double again. Now, relatively speaking, that's incredibly small considering how many people there are actually in the world or there is in the country or on the island. But it's a really good sign that we're actually starting to tread on people's toes. I had an invitation from the taxman last week to go to court again because he wants £43,000 of something. I'm just not quite sure what he wants. Yeah, exactly. And he's trying to make me bankrupt from a bankrupt company. Now, a lot of you might not understand that, but if you look at the Gold Standards Act and the Bankruptcy Act, you soon will understand that. So the taxman's he's a funny entity to deal with, actually. He's quite funny. And I have a lot of fun with him. So they've started to break their own rules, and this is what I was waiting to happen. Because I've known this little thing, I've been doing this, I don't know, some of you might know it, this is why I don't want to do the talk as I normally do it. And it's a thing called no contract return to sender. If you actually define policy, the word policy, it actually means contract. So I know that if anything they're sending me via some form of policy that's gone through Parliament, then it's a contract, and I don't have to accept it, so I just send the bugger back to them and get them to pay the postage. £1.30 to be precise. They don't like me doing it, but there's not a lot they can do. So what the taxman did about a year ago is he sent this big wad of documents about this thick, and it had this letter on top of it, this big wad of documents, from the High Court down at the Strand that actually is called the Supreme Court of Justicia, which has been about for a long time. Supreme Courts are not new things. They've been about for ages. I took this and it says, a special order been placed in the Supreme Court, in the High Court down at the Strand, that you have to accept this paperwork through the post. Yeah, right. No contract, and off it bloody goes. I've been away from my family, and my partner is at the back, Ev, and I made massive mistakes where my family was concerned. Because I'm going to talk about that in a bit. And I've been back with my family for a couple of weeks now. I've been near the house. No letters, Ev will confirm this, from the taxman or anybody else all the time I was away. 2 days after I returned, 2 letters popped through the letterbox from the taxman. Now, plain white envelopes, like anyone would send. One was recorded, got signed for. One was normal. Looked at the recorded, turned it over, no return address. You can't do that. But there's no return address. Now normally I go into a post office and send something recorded. I'm made to put something on the back, at least the postcode of who sent it. But this isn't, so I'm a bit suspicious, but I don't really deal with suspicion. So well, it's got to be something of interest. One of you lot might have sent me something. You do send me some quite mad things, believe me. So I opens it up. It's my mate, the taxman. So there's another special order from the High Court. This time you have to accept it by recorded mail and normal mail. Oh, bog off. No contract, it's gone back again. These people are stumped if you do not accept this stuff. All you've got to do is know this fact. But there's a little saying that I use, and it is quite simple. Do not step in the water unless you want to get wet. Lawful rebellion is about stepping in the water. If you want to change what we have now, you have to learn to use the ability of one word. And that word is no. That's it. That's all you've got to learn. Say it. No. Oh, yeah, that was really impressive. I'm the troll on the bridge. Yeah, come on, you've got to do better than that. No! Whoa, shivers down my spine. But you've got to learn another ability. You've got to learn to say it politely, with respect, in dignity, all the time. You never, ever, ever get angry. Because they can't deal with you unless you get angry. If you get angry, they all deal with you because that's all they're taught. When you are polite and pleasant, there's nothing they can do. I've watched them melt in front of me. It's brilliant. I watched the machine break. I've watched it many times. It goes, brrr. Someone's pulled the plug. And then back on again. And sometimes they come in and out of it. If you see this, they go, and they go back to being the machine again. There's some brilliant stuff on YouTube if you actually want to watch it, some fantastic stuff. The police, they're fantastic. So there's a hive mentality. And the hive mentality is the core belief system that you've subscribed to because you 100% every single day accept what's going on without doing anything about it. Because you daren't say no to these people because they're wearing costumes. But they are. What's a costume? They're not called acts by mistake, because they're played out by actors who are acting wearing costumes. That's all it is. And when they go home at night, they take the costume off and stop being the actor. Get up in the morning, boom, boom, put the costume back on, they're back being the actor again. It's that simple. When you realise they are just an actor wearing a costume, the thing called intimidation starts to lessen. It takes a while, it does take a while. Them fluorescent jackets that the police wear can be quite alarming to some people. I know that. A judge wearing a funny wig on his head, or a barrister wearing a wig and they give it all this. But it's part of the act. Do you reckon they go home at night and walk around, hello darling, I had a good day. It's like me being a chippy wearing my nail belt when I get home, smashing everything with the hammer handle. But this is the point I'm making. You live in a world of fear which is of your own creation. It's because you allow it to exist, not because they allow it to exist. All they've done is realised that you'll subscribe to this and they just took the piss. That's all they've done. They've done pretty much what most people would do if people just roll over and say, oh, go on then, tickle me belly. Go on, I like it really. I love being taxed to the hilt. Oh, it's fantastic. What a wonderful world we live in. But that's basically what you're saying. If you learn to use the word no, and you use it nicely, and when you do this for yourself, don't accept what I'm saying. I've done it. So I can relate the stories and tell you what actually happened, which people can corroborate, they can back it up. I've been attacked heavily because I was doing 122 on the M6. Excuse me, and got flashed by a camera. Had a conversation with a policeman who I got through the corporate officer to the policeman and then through to the man inside the costume, and I've never been prosecuted. I've never received a thing, and it's now actually out of date. It's completely out of date. So they can't do anything now anyway. I'm not saying you should go on the M6 and do 122 miles an hour. If you've got a car that does that speed, and you like driving fast, go up onto the M6 toll road, because it's a private piece of road, and all you've got to do is pay £5.50 to go on the racetrack. But if you don't like driving fast, don't bother. It's like me with my seatbelt thing. I want to bring it back to that. I'm going to talk about this piece of paper in a minute. I want to bring it back to this seatbelt thing. I don't wear a seatbelt because I choose not to. It's my choice. If you want to wear a seatbelt, that's your choice. This is about choice. Seatbelts are for what? The precautionary principle.